Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Laura and I was an exchange student for close to a year in Texas, and I'm now using this channel to kind of share my experience and give future exchange students as well as future host families all of my tips and to talk about my experiences to hopefully improve everybody's exchange experience. So today I have what I believe to be a really important and interesting video for all of the future host families out there, and it is hosting mistakes you should definitely try to avoid to create a beautiful study abroad experience for your exchange student and to make sure that everything runs smoothly. I also have other videos like this on my channel, so definitely after watching this video do not forget to check out the others. There are so many more helpful tips. But without further ado, let's get right on into this week's video. So the first tip I have for you guys is to never stop prioritizing your exchange student and to definitely make them a priority in the first couple of weeks. Your exchange student is probably a really young person that has just left behind everything and everyone that they know and that they love, and it's just really hard for them, especially in the beginning. They don't know anyone, they don't know anything, they don't know where anything is, how anything works, so they are going to need a lot of assistance in the first couple of weeks. And that starts kind of day one when you are supposed to pick them up from the airport. And this is something that I would really ask you to do if you want to become a host family, is to really pick up your exchange student from the airport. It is going to make a huge difference if you are there to welcome them, if you have maybe, you know, a sweet sign or a balloon or just something small to show that you're super excited. I personally was not picked up from the airport, and I can tell you that the moment I realized that my family wasn't there to pick me up, my heart just sank, and I think that just really hurt me, and it's something that I still have a hard time kind of getting over, because the situation was that I thought, you know, they were going to pick me up, and then I was looking around at the airport and I couldn't see them, and I was with another girl that was with my organization, and her host family was there with a sign and they were really sweet, and my family didn't show up. And then I got a tap on the shoulder from a woman that was a total stranger to me, just telling me to come home with her because she worked for the organization I went with. But I didn't know this woman, I didn't know whether I could trust her, I didn't know I was going to go home with her, and it was just a really bad kind of start. And then I waited at her house and I got really tired because of the time difference and all the traveling and the excitement and the nerves, and then I fell asleep and I got woken up and had to meet my host family for the first time after having been asleep for half an hour, and it wasn't a nice way to meet them, and I just wish, you know, they could have picked me up. So definitely, if you plan on getting an exchange student, really put that day in your diary and really make sure that you can pick them up from the airport. It is so much more important to them than it might seem to you, so definitely try and pick them up. Also, in the first couple of days, you should really set aside some time to get to know each other. It is so important that you are there for your exchange student, that you kind of distract them from loneliness, from homesickness, that you kind of just show them your whole house, kind of explain maybe the rules that your family has, how everything works, how they can help you out in the household, how they can do the simple things. So literally show them how the shower works, show them how plug sockets work, show them how you open the windows. Those are really simple things, but in my country, for example, windows open differently. I never had a thermostat, so I didn't know how to work them. Or plug-in sockets and light switches are different, so I didn't really know where they would be placed, or a lot of awkward situations, more than you can ever imagine. So really, you know, go take your exchange student and really ask them, like, what about this house is like unclear to you? Like, I know this is going to be so different. Just ask me absolutely anything. That's really important. Also, they're going to have a lot of stuff to sort out in the first couple of weeks, like a new phone contract, or maybe you have to sort out how they get to school and stuff like that. So just, you know, the little admin bits that they definitely have to sort out in the first couple of weeks. Just be aware that they are going to need some extra attention and some more of your time in the first couple of weeks for them to get settled in. Also, a good idea would be to take them on a first big food shop, so you kind of can figure out what they like to eat, if they maybe have certain allergies or food preferences. It will also give your exchange student the ability to maybe shop for some bathroom products that they couldn't take with them because it would be too heavy, or maybe ask them if they need to buy any additional clothing, discuss with them your school's dress code and whether they need to get additional clothing because the clothing they brought did not actually suit the dress code. So just make sure they have everything that they need before, you know, school starts and before they really get into the daily life there. It is also really nice to show them around kind of your local town so that they kind of have an idea of where they've just been placed, you know, out of nowhere. Maybe explore like a local restaurant or something, and show them kind of town square, show them around the school, just, you know, introduce them to their immediate surroundings. Also, a really important tip that I also have for you guys is to not let it slide. I know hosting an exchange student is sometimes like getting a puppy. So the first couple of weeks are really, you know, interesting. You do all of these crazy things, and then at some point you might be getting kind of tired of it. And it is definitely the case that they will not need this attention, you know, that I just mentioned throughout the whole year. Obviously, they're going to settle in and they are going to start having a routine, and it is going to get a lot easier, but just don't let certain things slide. So definitely always make sure they get picked up from school on time. If you cannot pick them up, you need to make other sort of arrangements for them. I can remember I once sat outside of the school for I think more than an hour, and I just basically had to watch every single kid get picked up, and I always had to kind of feel like somebody was there for them and I was kind of left outside. And I'm not trying to kind of put myself in the role of the victim, but you have to realize that as an exchange student, they don't have their family and they are in a really vulnerable position emotionally anyway. So if, you know, these tiny things happen, that can actually be really detrimental for kind of their mental health and for their mood, and can really get them into a spiral of homesickness that can last for weeks. So definitely make sure that you always get the basics done at least, you know, ask them some questions during dinner, make sure they get picked up from school, plan maybe a fun afternoon or something. Also, another really important tip is to give them like the same attention that you give to your own children. That's a good actual way to handle it, because, you know, your own children, you do not give them like 1000% of your attention every single day, but you realize that you need to, I don't know, show affection, show interest in what they're doing. So that's a good way to handle your exchange student as well. If they have any sports games, I would recommend you really go to those. Those are really important. Basically, you need to be aware of the fact that they don't have anyone besides you in the first couple of weeks. So anything that their parents would do, show up for them, take care of them, you need to do that as well, and you need to fill that role, yeah, to just help them out, to kind of keep homesickness, you know, away from them as much as possible. But at the same time, as I said, you know, at some point it's gonna get less and less of that the more friends they find and the more of a social system they build themselves. So a good rule of thumb is to treat them like you would treat your own children. Another tip that I have is to never emphasize the fact that they are only an exchange student and only a temporary part of your family. This is really important. I mean, the exchange student is aware that, you know, you obviously love your own children more. They are aware of the fact that they are going to be leaving after maybe a year. So they know these things, but just don't make them feel them often or even on a daily basis. That doesn't mean that you need to like call them your child, which I know some host families do, and if both parties are comfortable with it, you can do that. You don't need to do that, and they don't need to call you mom and dad, but just treat them like you would your own child, like I said before, because it can be extremely hurtful if there is a very clear separation between the exchange student and the host family, or between the exchange student and the natural children of that host family. And it starts at like really small things. So whenever you take a huge family picture, for example, and everybody is involved in the picture, do not make your exchange student take the picture. You know, get some stranger to take the picture, because making your exchange student take the picture is just really clearly signaling to them that this is our family, this is you, and this picture is going to hang on a wall for years, and this is permanent, and you're a non-permanent part of the family who is not going to be, you know, remembered in this picture. So you're the one who can be behind the camera because you don't really matter as much as the other ones. And even though that might be true, like, it's okay that your own children obviously matter more to you than the exchange student. Don't let them know that. Don't let them feel that. So it's really the small things to really watch out that those situations kind of don't happen. So the thing that always happens actually happened in this video as well, and it is that I realized that it is actually getting way too long. So I'm going to split this up into two parts. So this is part one of mistakes that you should definitely avoid when considering becoming a host family for an exchange student. I will also make a part 2 of this, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. Also, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you don't want to miss part 2 of this video, please hit the notification bell and subscribe if you would like to hear any more about this, if you are just someone who's generally interested in the topic, or if you are a host family or a family that is considering becoming a host family in the future. Definitely drop me all of your questions down in the comments. I would be so happy to help you guys out, to answer all of the questions as much and as best as I can. I'm really trying to do my best here in creating the best exchange student experience that you could possibly create. So leave me all of your questions down in the comments below. I would be so interested in seeing what you guys want to know. I'll definitely make another video talking about this. And yeah, that's all for this week's video. See you guys in my next one. Bye!